Hello everyone, welcome to AI Anytime channel. In this video, we are going to look at Open WebUI, formerly known as Ollama WebUI. Open WebUI, like other tools like LLM Studio, GPT for all, Cobalt, H2O AI, text generation interface, blah blah blah. It is also a tool that helps you run or inference LLMs locally in your machine. So we're going to look at Open WebUI in this video through one-click installation, that's through Docker. So without any further delay, let's jump into it. If you look at here, you see it here on the website. It's called Unlock Your LLM's Capabilities. So you're going to unlock your LLM's capability using Open WebUI, guys. So right now it's locked, but we're going to unlock it. Okay, and it says self-hosted interface for AI. So self-hosted. So you wanna host it, you wanna control it. And if the AI is in cloud, it's not your AI. It's the third party's AI and they control it. So if you self-host LLMs, it's your AI and you can control it. Think like that. So if you come down, here you can find out a lot of their posts, they have a lot of community driven posts and updates that you can follow here. If you click on Get Open WebUI, it will take you to the GitHub repository. And this is the GitHub repository of Open WebUI. You can see it over here. And, it has a chatgpt like an interface. All these tools that I talked about, GPT for all, I created a video recently, which is a tool by Nomic AI that helps you run LLM locally, everything locally. You do not have to even connect with internet. So everything remains private. Now, they all have a UI UX. They have an user experience just like ChatGPT or Gemini and so on and so forth, right? So Open WebUI also has something similar if you look at here on the screen. We're going to install this. Okay, we're going to install this through Docker by using a single line command, and I'm going to explain that. Docker is one of my favorite technology. It's a container technology. If you look at here on Docker, it says helps developer build, share, run. So build, share, run. You build it in your machine, you ship it anywhere. If that other machine, wherever you are shipping, if shipping means if you are giving it or deploying it or transferring anywhere to your friend's machine or on a virtual machine or wherever, if that machine has Docker and if that program works in your machine, then it will definitely work in that machine. Okay, that's how it is, a very simple way. So it removes the dependencies conflict out of the equation. Okay, so that's where Docker is helpful. You do not have to worry about a lot of, environment configurations or management. So you should learn Docker if you don't know Docker yet, if you are a techie. If you are a non-techie, I don't recommend learning all of these things. Okay, now we're going to use Docker here to do that. Pretty simple to install. If you're on a Windows machine, you need Docker Desktop exe. Just go on internet and write Docker Desktop Windows installation. You can download an exe, double click install. Hyper-V has to be enabled for that. You can do it from BIOS. The virtualization needs to be enabled, for Docker. If you are on Linux, Ubuntu machine, pretty easy. Sudo install Docker, excuse me. So you can go on the documentation and you can learn it. So this is where the documentation is. Come here, go to documentation. And on documentation, you can learn everything about Docker. Not a Docker tutorial. There are better YouTubers who has created Docker because this is not my forte, but I know Docker. But now let me jump in and show you how we're going to do it. This is a command. Docker run -d. -d means, let me start from here, the left hand side. Docker run is a command to run Docker, containers. Now if I show you my terminal, and you have a command called Docker images, you can find out all the images which are already there. There are a command called Docker ps. If you do that, you can find out all the running containers. You can see I don't have any running containers. So this is how you can learn these commands. Now Docker run, and there's something called Docker build. So if you want to build something, you have to do Docker build -t, which is image name. So I'm going to give a name called Docker img, and if the Docker file, which is a file that basically defines all your config, schema, how you're going to create the Docker Docker container. So basically you create a file and then you create an image of it. Now this is how you will do it. Dot means the file is in the same folder where you are executing this. If your Docker file is somewhere else, then you have to give the path of that. So that is the Docker build command. Now let's come back here and see. So we have docker run. Then I have -d. -d means detached mode. Now, which is interesting because if you run without -d, you are basically blocking the terminal access for that session. Basically, your terminal will get engaged and you cannot do anything. So -d means detached mode. You can run that container in background, basically using, where you do not have to block the terminal in that session. Then -p, which is an acronym of short form for port. -p means port. 3000:8080. 3000 is your host machine port where you are running this. 8080 is the container port. Okay, so that is what this is. Now this is add host. Now if you look at internal host gateway, this is basically for an internal IP that host gateway is. That's what add host is on your host machine. Then we have -v, which is for volume, to persist the data. So whatever data that you have, logs and whatever you do it, that get persisted within the container and within this path in the container called app backend data. And you give a name of it. So we're giving a name to container called Open WebUI, and then we have -- restart always. It means something goes wrong or the container stops working, then you should always restart it. And that's because so the Docker daemon can run. And then you have this thing, ghcr.io, blah blah blah. Now what we are going to do here, guys, we're gonna pull the image for Open WebUI from GitHub Container Registry. It's a database where you keep your Docker images. Now, official one is Docker Hub repository, which is hub.docker.org or com. You have to look at that, where you can go and find Python official, Ubuntu official, Oracle official, SQL official, blah blah blah. All official images are there. Then we have all the hyperscalers, major cloud providers. GCP, the Google Cloud Registry, GCR, Elastic Container Registry on AWS, Azure Container Registry, ACR on Azure. So all these have their own databases, container registries where you can register your containers, basically. Give a tag and basically put it over there. Then we have GitHub Container Registry, which is GHCR. That's what you see it over here, ghcr.io/openwebui, and the main means the main tag. There can be different version of a same image. That's what it is. Now we're gonna run this here, guys. Okay, so to run this, and if you come here, let me just scroll down here, you can find out everything. It says quick start with Docker. Now if you look at here, it says when you're using Docker to install OpenMX, you have to include this in your Docker command because this step is crucial. You can see it over here. They have shown everything. If Ollama is on your computer, use this command. If Ollama is on a different server, use this command. To run Open WebUI with NVIDIA GPU, if you have NVIDIA GPU, if you have CUDA support, you should run this. You can see it over here. It uses CUDA here. Okay. Now if I'm gonna copy this, so let me just copy it here and we'll then match if we are using the same command. So if you look at here, we are using the same thing. It says docker run -d -p 3000:8080 add host. This is the thing and everything is fine. When you run it for the first time, it will take a lot of time because it has to pull the image and it has to run it, and then you can start using it. You can see it says unable to find locally because I'm running it for the first time. If you're also running it for the first time, it has to go and pull the image. But if you run it for at least one time, your image will be stored locally. So do not have, next time you just have to come and run the command. So it will open it will ask you to open that running application on port, in your browser. So let's take a pause here and come back when this is done, because this is going to take a bit of time, guys. As you guys can see here, we have our container running here on this particular port on 3000, and the name is Open WebUI. If you open Google Chrome, you will find out sign in to Open WebUI. I don't have an account right now, so I have to click on sign up. So let's click, and I'm gonna call it AI Anytime, give it an email, and then I'm gonna give it a password here. And create account. It says you are now logged in, as you can see it over here. Okay, let's go. And then if you look at here on the right hand side, top you have settings. In settings you can change the theme. If you want dark theme, it becomes dark. If you becomes system, it takes your system thing. If you do OLED dark, it will take OLED dark. If you do light, it will take light. If you do her, it will do her. I'm gonna keep it system. System. Okay, dark. Let's keep it dark. And then you have a lot of things. You can set your system prompt. You have interface. You can look at the UI. Everything is. You can also make it more personalized if you want. You can personalize your interaction with LLMs by adding memory through manage button. You can see this is how, just like ChatGPT also has now the memory feature where you can also forget some memory if you want. Audio, speech to text setting also you can do it. I'll keep it like all. Let's, for example, if you want to make this on, you make this on. You can set something, non-local voices, save, and settings saved. In the chat you have import on, export on, and account. You have your account, API keys can be shown, admin settings can be shown, blah blah blah. And I'm just gonna save this. Okay, now go to dashboard here and let's click on new chat. Once you click on new chat, it says hello AI anytime, how can I help you today? I don't know why I'm not that satisfied with their dark theme, guys. I'm gonna make this as system. Now if you look at here, let's just cut this. This is built in React, it seems, but it's fine. Now if you look at here, or Electron, I'm not sure. Select a model. You can see now this model is coming from the model that you have in your machine. Okay, now if you look at this plus thingy, you can add a model and search as well. So I'm just gonna delete this. Now how can you add model here, guys? So let me just do it. Let me open a terminal, and then in terminal you can do Ollama pull and then the model name. So if you want to bring up Phi model, if you want to bring up Mistral model, you just have to go on their documentation and then look at the command. So if you do Ollama Phi 3, it will show you how to pull that model in your local machine. You can see this is what you have to do. You just have to do Ollama run Phi 3. If the model is already there, it will run it. If it's not there, first it will download and then run it. Okay. Now I'm gonna select Llama 3 latest. You can see this is the model that I selected. Now in that I'm gonna say how to create a fast API. Let me just do it. How to create a fast API to run to make an API call using request. Now when you do that, how to create a fast API to make an API call using request, you can see it says Llama 3 latest. Okay, and then you can see it over here. Right now it has a placeholder. The reason, now let me just do one thing. Open this, and here you're gonna do Ollama run Llama 3, same thing. So if you do here Ollama run Llama 3 latest whatever, it will be a bit faster. I have noticed it. But if you run the same thing here on the interface, you can see I'm on a CPU machine. I'm not utilizing my GPU. So you can see the tokens per second, how much tokens we are getting per second. You can also count it. I think the fairly decent speed, I will say, because I'm running it on a 16 GB. I think the RAM is of 16 GB. That's what I'm running it on the CPU machine. And you can see it gives you the output. It's a bit slow, but you cannot expect this as a ChatGPT kind of a speed, right? Now this is what it is. It gives you making an API call directly, blah, blah, blah. And here you can edit the question, and you can also copy the question if you want. Okay, you can copy. Here also you have time. You have Ollama logo here, and then you have stop thing. You have here more. If you click on more, you can upload files as well. So you can also interact with your files on the fly. It will basically rag it around. So it will rag the system or this interface surrounding your documents that you have, right? That's called grounded generation or retrieval augmented generation nowadays. And if you look at here, it's doing, and you also have workspace. This is fine. This is the right answer. I don't have any issue in this right answer. This is the right answer, and this is how you make an API call. It gives you a fast API response. Now it also creating a separate endpoint. Okay, and you can see it says then make a get request, URL, blah blah blah. The response is then return at JSON. This is how you can ask a question and you can get an answer depending on how good compute you have, right? If your system has a better compute, then it will be even more faster. Okay, now you can see, and my system is, in this system that I'm recording this video, I'm running this, it has really less space. It does not have that high storage. Yeah, but that is fine. You can see now you can keep asking more questions. It also has memory in, as we said, that memory part, you can ask follow-up questions. It will also understand your follow-up question and it will respond, right? Now let's wait for it. You can say in this example we create, so of course you guys need a better machine. You cannot, if you are building something in production, probably nobody will wait this long to get an output. So that's the constraint, guys. When you use open source large language models on a compute limited devices, you have to either load it a quantized model through VLLM or through Unsloth or through anything else, right, to make it a bit faster, if you are doing it. You can see it has given me a different function. I'm not happy with that answer as much. That's the problem with LLMs. It kind of keeps on going and giving answers which are like redundant, or which it has to give me one answer and then say that there are other options you can try, but it keeps on giving me just to make sure that the LLM should show that it's neutral and it's giving you the right answer. But anyway, now here in the workspace, you can look at create a model. So you can customize models for a specific purpose. You can also create made by discover a model. So you can also discover a model from here. It takes you to the community part of it. I'm not interested. Now here when you click on create a model, you can also create a model. You can see a base model. Right now I have Llama 3, and you can make it more customizable for your use case. You can put prompt suggestions. You can do a knowledge base, selecting your documents. You can select your own documents. If you want to bring up, first you have to bring up your documents here, and you can also do that. Okay, and then you can do save and create. So this is how you can do it. So if you go to documents, if you look at here you can select document. So I can just upload any document I want, right? I can just come here and upload any document, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, but you can do it, guys, pretty much easy. You also have tools. Now in tools, you can discover a tool, like you can connect with internet, like Serperdev, you can connect with Serp API, you can connect with Tavilai, blah blah blah. Okay, you can also do that. You can look at here on the tools, you can find it out, but I'm not doing it. Here you can add tools. Now you can see it says one thing. Now if you come down, you can find it out. Calculator, get current weather. It has some basic tools for you. Get username, email ID, and blah blah blah, right? It also has functions. You can discover a function, you can do custom function callings and whatnot. If you click on this, it says title, example, filter, Open WebUI, author, find whatever it is. It's basically a filter function that you see. So you have documents, you have prompts. In prompt also you can give a title, give a short command, and then give a prompt content depending on that. So basically you can make it completely personalized, guys, over here, depending on that. And that was the answers. Okay. I'm not impressed with this one. They have to do better handling of the state, guys. They're not handling it probably. And if you look at here, it also has your record voice. You can also call. You can also, basically it had both speech to text and text to speech thingy. Right? This is what I wanted to show you, that how easy it is to set up Ollama WebUI, or nowadays Open WebUI, in your machine through one line of command through Docker. If you have Docker, you can just get it up and running quickly, and you can make it completely a personalized system depending on your compute that you have, and you can do it everything locally, private. You do not have to use OpenAI APIs or any third-party LLM providers. If you have any doubts, questions, please let me know in the comment box. If you have your own findings, please comment that as well in the comment box. You can also join our Discord server. I'll give the link in description. Okay. Now, if you like the content, please hit the like icon. And if you haven't subscribed the channel yet, please do subscribe the channel, guys. That motivates me to create more such videos in your future. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.